Wolverines, are you ready? Dig your claws into a podcast that only bleeds green. UVU sports news, stats, and more with exclusive interviews. Made for the fans, by the fans. One Team All Green presents the Green Machine Podcast.
Hey everybody, it is the Green Machine Podcast. I'm Kyle, here with Ty. Before we get going, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, One Team All Green, and that's really all our social media, accounts: Instagram, Twitter, both at One Team All Green. So give us a follow there. All our UVU athletics info, from cross country, track and field, all the way up to men's and women's basketball. I mean, we've got it all. So we're going to be doing this a couple times a week from here on out. And there may be some instances where we actually do live podcasts. So subscribe to the channel, and you can find the audio on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, really everywhere you can find a podcast. So if you don't want to watch the video, you can listen to it while you're driving somewhere, or maybe you're at home reading a book or something like that. But all our accounts are under One Team All Green. Pretty simple. It's Monday evening. It's been a beautiful day. We were going to do a Monday mailbag. Just a reminder, over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, send us some questions about UVU athletics, your favorite athletes, teams, coaches, maybe even some in the past that we can answer here on the podcast. We're very dialed in, very connected, and Tyler knows. He's been following me for since you were like 15 or something like that. So
it's been 3 or 4 years. So yeah. It's been a while that I've been with you and been following along with you. Right now?
Yeah,
no, 19.
19. So see, I was pretty close. You were following me since you were 15.
Yeah, you were close. Yeah, so we've been there I've been with Kyle for a while now, and you follow him long enough, you see him beat Woj, and you just it's a proud day when Kyle beats Woj. So
I got a lot of beef for posting that. I was pretty proud about that day when I brought it up that Mark Madsen was going to be the coach over. What was this, like 5 minutes before Woj brought?
I thought it was even longer than that. I thought you were close to like 15 minutes.
It might have.
Because I remember sitting in my Sunday meetings and seeing that you broke it, and then a few minutes later freaking out that we got the Woj bomb, But then I was like, "Oh, sweet, Kyle beat Woj, what?" So that was a fun day.
Yeah. So we're here to bring you, all the UVU athletics, info and stories that we can. We got a lot of stories that we're going to be telling, not just here on the podcast, but on the website at oneteamallgreen.com. I'm trying to get some seniors to write their little Players Corner articles. Those were pretty popular. So we'll be doing a lot more. Sorry if it seemed like I took a little break from One Team All Green for a little bit.
Life happened.
Life happens. I got a 3-year-old. Yeah. So anyways, with that said, Ty, what are your summer plans? You're going to go to school, is that right?
Yeah, I'm doing some more schooling, unfortunately, but it'll be good. It's good to have this semester kind of in the rearview mirror now. It was absolutely a roller coaster semester. Started out in person, then everything happened, and that transition online. I'd say for the most part was pretty good. A few kinks here and there, but overall it was pretty good. But definitely something I'm glad that's over with. And unfortunately, the summer class that I am taking is Math 1050. Bombed it in high school. Didn't do so hot. I took that my last semester of my senior year, and I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. I just could not finish strong in there. I kind of threw in the towel. I'll say I threw in the towel.
That's all right.
So I'm looking forward to giving it more of an effort this time around, putting in some actual effort and see a better result this time.
Nice. Well, let's talk a little bit about a tweet that I saw this weekend. Saturday, Morgan Bailey, assistant coach, UVU women's basketball, took maybe an ill-advised picture. I'm wondering if, after it was posted, the coaches were like, "We're never doing a Zoom call again." But it basically caught, Dan Nielsen, Ashley Garfield, Kaylani Unga all in kind of a state of like, what are we doing? Kind of like face look.
Yeah.
And I want people to caption when you see the picture, from the tweet, just caption what you think they're thinking here in this photo. It's just great. Like, one of the thoughts that came to my mind the last day or two is they're reliving what happened in that WAC tournament against Seattle. The worst game they played really all season. And,
Yep.
I mean, you have to understand, this is how bad it was. They bolted back to Orem right after the game. Like, that was how bad.
And
Yeah.
an hour after the game, they were on the bus and they were back, and they pulled into Orem at like 2:45 a.m. Like, brutal. Like, they were just not having it after that game. That shows you how bad they thought that they had played.
Yeah. I like, it's just funny. You just look at it. Like, Dan Nielsen looks like he's, exhausted, ready to go to bed. Ashley Garfield just kind of, I know she has a young one that she's taking care of because I believe she just had a baby. Maybe it was, I can't remember. I think it was before the season started. But
looks like she's mid-sentence, like she's currently talking, so could be caught mid-sentence.
Could be. And Kaylani Unga, like, she looks like maybe one of her kiddos had a dirty diaper. Like, that's what.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I believe, isn't her husband Harvey Unga?
Yeah, he is.
And maybe she's looking at him like, you're really wearing that or something, you're really not going to shower or something like that. I mean.
Come on, Harvey, step it up.
Yeah. Be a big boy. Put your big boy pants on. So, or maybe she's listening to his Zoom call with the BYU football coaches because he's
maybe,
an assistant coach over there now. So it's a great photo. Seriously, caption it. What you think these coaches are thinking or what the best caption is for the photo. Maybe we'll have a prize, maybe some tickets to a basketball game or, something else, figure it out. But comment below and tell us what you think. I mean, it's a classic photo. So
speaking of basketball, Kyle, we got some news today that me and Kyle are committing to a trip to Austin, Texas, December 1st for when the Wolverines travel to take on the University of Texas, the Longhorns. And I can say, Kyle, I'm pretty stoked about it. How about yourself?
Ty, I want you to tell the people watching this or listening what exactly it was, the response that your parents gave you, or at least that you told me through a message today.
Okay, so me and Kyle were talking this morning, right? And he says to me, "Yo, I can hook you up with a good deal to come out on this trip." So I said, "All right, let me run it past my parents, just make sure that we're good." And I told them the deal that Kyle offered me, and they looked at me, and they didn't directly say this, but I know they implied it. I know they implied this. They basically implied, "Hell yeah, you got to do it." And so I said, "All right, I'm doing it then."
Nice. Yeah, so with the way flights are right now and they're cheap and so forth, it's a no-brainer to be able to go down to Austin and, take in that campus and that opportunity, where the UVU men's basketball team will play on December 1st. So,
absolutely.
I mean, I says we're committed. I'm committed to it. I have to pass it off with my wife. So that's still a little in play, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to. It's always good to go to these big venues and watch, the Wolverines play. I've been to Rupp Arena twice, Cameron Indoor Stadium a couple of years ago. So it's a great thing. I'm excited about it, and the opportunity. And why not? Why not go spend a couple hours in Boston to watch a basketball game? And hopefully there's some more games on the schedule that maybe, I'll take a look at. I was told today that, they're going to possibly – even the schools may possibly have the conference schedule, already. So I'm waiting to get that back and see what happens there. And, but that's another story for another day with that. But, yeah, going to Austin is going to be a fun trip. I've been there once before with the UVU Review, and it's kind of a crazy town in some places. So But the campus is beautiful, and I mean, yeah, it's Texas, so everything's bigger in Texas. So
Everything's bigger in Texas. You know, with all that said, though, One Team All Green will be providing you exclusive content from that road trip. We'll have interviews. We'll get an article up. You know, we'll be live tweeting the game. You know, we're going to be providing some top notch coverage here for what's going to be a huge game for UVU men's basketball this upcoming season. And
this is the
me
truth.
and Kyle are both excited to do that. Excited.
And may even bring a live podcast episode while we're there, prior to the game and after, you know, the day after the game, you know, break down some things. And it's cool because former UVU men's basketball player, when I posted the flyer on my Instagram, Trey Young, he commented, he's like, I'm there, you know, and maybe we can catch up with him. But speaking of him, he posted a video on his Twitter the other day, just some highlights from his playing I believe it was his final season at Utah Valley. Let me just look it up here. But I'll post some of the video here. But, I mean, it was great to reminisce and remember the wins that they had, and even the triple overtime game that they had against Cal State Bakersfield in the WAC tournament. I mean, it was crazy. And the thing is, this guy, I'll play a portion of the senior video that I made of him, where Mark Pope talks about how he changed as a player and got better and did the things that they asked him to. And to see him still want to support the Wolverines and to be there for a game, I think it's great.
He's kind of a little bit of the heart and soul behind this team, and certainly is the energy and the, you know, we talk about pace, space, and extra pass, and he is pace for us.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think that, you know, Trey, Ivory, you know, I know that Coach Pope referred to him as Trey, you know, I know his real name's Ivory, you know, but I think he was one of Pope's first recruits. You know, he was one of the guys that really came in and laid the foundation. And like you said, you know, for him to be able to grow as a player and to do what the coaching staff wanted him to do, that's tremendous for a program, you know, especially for not only a first year head coach, but a first time head coach, you know, to be able to get a guy that comes in and, you know, does what you want him to do, you know, that's huge. And, you know, he came in and was, I believe, a starter in 15 and 16. That was a while ago, but I believe he was a starter for that team. You know, he still saw a role. And I think as the 16-17 season wore on, he actually, you know, took over the starting spot. You know, so I mean, just a guy who really busted his butt here at UVU, you know, and helped lay the foundation that Pope's teams, you know, had success with.
Well, and he was part of that team that beat BYU 114-101. So, I mean, he made a big impact here, starting that trend of, you know, the winning ways. Like you said, he was one of Pope's first recruits. Him, Jordan Poydras, Andrew Bastian, and Brandon Randolph. Those four guys kind of came in together. I actually had a class with Ivory. I believe it was with Dave Morin. It was a political communication class or something. I can't remember the name of it, but good dude, humble, and, you know, just one of those slippery players that can either shoot it or can take it to the rack. I mean, some of the moves that I see in his highlight video, just it's awesome. And like I said, when he commented that he was there, like, I'm going to reach out to him and tell him that, hey, we're coming and we want to get together, you know, and let's talk and so forth. I think it's cool that a lot of guys still follow the program. That's important to me.
Absolutely. You know, and I think my favorite game of his was, I think it was the 2017 CBI. You know, I think it was the quarterfinals. You know, UVU travels to Rice to play them. And I believe that, you know, Ivory is from the Houston area, you know, and that's where Rice plays. So, you know, I love how he goes in there and he has a career game. You know, he put up 20 points, you know, 20 points in 26 minutes. So just, you know, and I believe I remember, you know, he had 50 plus family members there, aunts, uncles, parents, cousins, tons of family there in support, all of them donning the Wolverine green. I even think that they hosted the team over for a huge family barbecue, Texas-style barbecue. So who knows, maybe there was some good luck with that barbecue. But, I think that that's just incredible that, he goes home, in a postseason tournament and just dominates. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's always good to play at your home, like in your home area, so that you can have more family there. One last thing to talk about here, before we end this episode of the Green Machine podcast. Willie the Wolverine on May the 4th. I mean, you see the graphic on the screen. I mean, that's pretty intense. And I think Ryan Boswell helped do that. If you can't get excited about, being a Wolverine by seeing that, and just maybe, it's too bad there wasn't a video of them lighting it up, kind of like they do in the movie. But either way, I mean, it's exciting to be a Wolverine.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that it'd be cool if we had that as like part of one of the hype videos for men's basketball next season. It's Willie at the end and he's like igniting his lightsaber. There's fog in the background, all these cool effects. But, it chills really. It's such a cool, I think Ryan came out and said that was one of his favorite photo shoots. And you can't blame him. I mean, it's insanely cool. You've got our own Willie the Wolverine. He's donning the green lightsaber. He's taking the path of the Jedi. It's super cool. So if that doesn't get you hyped to be a Wolverine fan, what does? I'm sorry. I've just got to call it how it is.
True. Well, we're going to start keeping these short and sweet so that you have more time to view them and they're quicker, so forth. So with that said, reminder, follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our page so you don't miss an episode of this. One Team All Green there, at One Team All Green on both Twitter and Instagram. You can even find us on Facebook, One Team All Green. I mean, just subscribe. You won't be disappointed.
Yep.
I promise you.
Folks.
And if you think you will be, just watch our episode from last Thursday. I mean,
Wednesday.
Well, we recorded on Wednesday, but we posted on Thursday.
Okay, posted on Thursday. You're right.
Yeah. But just check it out. See how connected we are. And if you don't like it, well, you're missing out.
That's your fault. That's your problem.
Anyways, we love you, Wolverines. May the 4th be with you. Ty, give us your signature sound off.
May the 4th be with you on this beloved day. Go Wolverines, baby. Woo!